What's up there, YouTube? This is Jared Smith here with another gardening episode. It's been a long time since I've done one of these. I got a new position at my current job and things have been a little busy there, but there's a lull in the action, so I'm going to take the opportunity to make gardening videos, show you guys what's new in my garden, kind of show you what's been growing, what I'm going to harvest for today, and all that. So I'll kind of show you around the garden. Alrighty, so I'm starting on my front porch, which seems a little bit odd, but I'm starting some seeds up front here on the porch. The sun in the morning does come from the front yard, and so this front stoop with the concrete absorbs a lot of heat, which makes it better for germinating some summer plants like the sunflowers. Okay, so that's my sunshoot here. It also keeps them out of the garden where the birds have been eating them. So they like sunshoots, I guess, and they always eat them. So this keeps them kind of safe actually on the porch. So birds have not come up here. So that's sunflowers. So I've got my watermelons and peppers down here on the walkway. It's in the front yard. Same sort of idea, getting that morning sun and getting the heat off of the concrete. So the watermelon types are over here. The next two are the cantaloupe style, and the next two are the honeydew style of melons in the back there. Okay, not all of my peppers have germinated, but you can see these guys here. I think these are my yellow peppers, my yellow sweet peppers. And then my cayenne peppers, the spicy ones, quite a few of those have popped up also. So still waiting on the ghost peppers and the rest of my sweet peppers to germinate. It's taken them an awful long time, so I'm a little concerned about that, but we'll see how that goes. Might be the same reason that these tomatoes are growing a little slowly. I think all these plants being in pots, they need a little bit more water more frequently. So I'm going to try that and see if that helps these guys out. A lot of times when plants are in pots, they dry out quickly. So let's go to the side of the house now, where I can show you the tomatoes that are in the ground, which look a whole lot healthier. And I think it's because they're in the ground. They're getting that water reserve that's left in the ground. All these tomatoes look really healthy here on the side of the house. Please forgive me for all the weeds that are here, but you can see the tomato plants don't seem to mind them all that much, as you see there. So those are the tomatoes on the side of the house. I'll be doing some weeding, as you can see, this weekend. Let's go ahead and head to the backyard garden. So first new thing that's in this backyard portion of the garden is that I've actually started planting some what do you call them, pollinating flowers. So this should attract a lot of the pollinators into the area. That's important when you're growing melons, which is what I'm going to be growing right here on these trellises. This trellis, this one, and the one down just a little bit further. So the pollinator mix should help bring in the bees and butterflies and other insects that are pollinating the area. I did the same thing down on this end, and I would hope to be able to put some sunflowers maybe in this middle section right next to where the oregano patch is, and right next to this small patch here of chives. So we'll see how that all works out here in the near future. Move on to the next bed. This is right now mostly beets. You can see these awesome beet greens here. I'll be maybe plucking one or two of these at a time, but I really want to get some good roots this year, so I'm going to leave the leaves alone for the most part. You'll also see some radishes. We did our first and second plucking 2 and 3 weeks ago, but there are still some that weren't that big, so I left them in the ground on the off chance that they might grow some, but they've just gotten leggier and more leafy, so I think these are just going to go to bolt, and I'll have to count them as a loss. Maybe compost them. Won't be too much of a loss. This bed we planted a little bit later, so these are actually ready. As you can see, this is a fuller section of radishes. There's another set of chives here, a little bit healthier set of chives. There's another set of chives down there too. But this bed is actually mostly garlic here, and right now garlic scapes are in season, and that is these little things that you see growing out of the center. When you see these growing out, if you you really want to cut them off pretty much as soon as possible. I let them grow just a little bit because I enjoy eating the garlic scapes, but this is what the garlic uses to seed, and so the more energy it spends into seeding, the less energy it is going to use in making the bulbs. And so that's why most garlic gardeners will say as soon as you start to see those scapes, cut them right out. I let them get until they're about, see if you can see this one here. That one's kind of hard to see. See if I can find one that's closer. This one's closer. When they get about this big, that's when I cut them off. And I let them get a little bit big, like I said, because they're delicious. They're really one of the most delicious things I cut out of the garden. Have a nice, strong, garlicky, oniony flavor. My wife makes a pesto out of it, takes some basil and grinds it up. You can saute them, you can just cut them up and eat them raw, like in a salad. So the garlic scapes are super versatile in the kitchen and super delicious. So cut them off, use them in the kitchen, and watch your garlic get even bigger. So next bed, not quite the last bed. As you can see, I pulled the cover off, and these are my salad greens. Got a nice healthy strip of them, and where the bare soil is where I tried to put chard and where I tried to put the kale. The kale kept getting eaten up by the slugs, so the kale really never did get off to a good start. The chard never really germinated. I've got a few that I started later that are starting to take off now. So that'll be, and they're a little bit more summer hardy, so I think that'll be fine as I'm getting further into the, or starting to get into rather the summer months. But that was a bit of a disappointment for me. That was not expected. I was hoping to do a lot better with that part of things, but you live and you learn. Maybe next year I just do all of the mucilin salad mix and do it that way, because it turned out really well. In terms of harvesting, 'cause I'm going to be harvesting this today, I just grab it not quite at the bottom because I want that center shoot to come out, but I grab it about there, and I'll make a nice flat cut all the way through the garden. So it'll be cut kind of like taking a haircut. Just cut a little bit off the top, leave the center shoot alone, and it should come back just fine. This will be my third cut on it, and I expect I'll probably get a fourth cut on it too. Probably not a fifth, but I'll definitely get a fourth cut on it, the way it's been growing this year. It's done real well. The last bed is a squash bed, and these are the dark star zucchinis that you're looking at right here. There's actually two right there in that spot, so I need to pluck one of them out and move it down a little bit further, maybe down to where that one is. That poor little thing has gotten eaten up by the slugs. Slugs have been very aggressive this year. But the thing I'm super excited about are these vine types that I put over here on the edge of the bed. I'm going to make a trellis, a large trellis. It's not there now, but I'll make one pretty cheap and pretty effective. And I'll let those vine up, and we'll have some winter squash, which is pretty awesome. I've not had that before. Last thing I'll show you in this bed before I sign out is the Malabar spinach. I got a seed starting here. That was a volunteer that started early in the season, kind of got ate up a little bit, but that center shoot is still there, so that's still good. Got a couple more seeds there, and there's another one there. I'll let them all grow because I love Malabar spinach. It's a summer hardy type green. It's a lot like spinach, but it's not actually a spinach plant. It's I forget what family it's actually from, but it's a vining type plant and produces really nice greens you can cook with and eat in a salad or whatnot, or make juices out of. They're really good for juices and smoothies. So that's it. That's my garden so far. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Stay tuned and make sure to subscribe so you can see more episodes.